Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am answering a listener Q&A about cycle lengths after having had a few recovery cycles. Let's just dive right in to Olivia's question. She says, "Hello Danny, first I'd like to thank you so much for all the information and support you provide." You're welcome. From last time I asked you a question, I had 4 consecutive periods, roughly 35 days long. My goal now is to optimize my period because I do feel that my luteal phase is short and follicular phase is long. I have noticed that my sleep has been fluctuating so much, probably adding to the stress because I'm a uni student with a stressful term. I have had many nights where I am sleepless. This insomnia came out of nowhere. I usually sleep well and deep, and I was wondering if sleep fluctuations occur along with normal fluctuations as you recover. And finally, I started picking up light exercise again, Pilates sessions 2 times a week or a strength training session of only 20 minutes. It feels good to work out again after not doing so it makes me feel good. At least mentally, it doesn't cause me stress. Not sure if that's okay for implementing while optimizing a period. Yes, I will be traveling soon and to places of different time zones. How should I stay on track with my healing in different time zones? I don't want to add this to my stress and just plan on having a fun vacation with my family. Okay, there's a few questions here. So first of all, yes, changes and fluctuations in your sleep, in your sleep are totally normal to experience when you're having like a massive hormonal fluctuation. A lot of people in HA do sleep really deeply. I think we're just so tired, we're so in survival mode that we have basically told our brain, like, you're not getting more food, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. So nocturnal and scavenging behaviors don't necessarily increase, and then you tend to just sleep through. When you start sending that signal, hey, we're eating more, food is abundant, it's a lot more common to experience basically have your brain go, let's get up, let's eat something. Often that can be that's a possible theory, to be clear. So if you want to go back to sleep and you're not waking up and eating a snack and trying to go back to sleep again, try that. Like having a glass of milk, having a snack bar, sometimes I would even get up in the middle of the night and just have like spoonfuls of yogurt out of the big tub of yogurt and just go back to bed. Like whatever is easy for you to do, see if that helps. But yes, it's probably going to pass. This is probably just a phase, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. In terms of like, is working on exercise in direct conflict with me working on optimizing my cycle? Not really. It can be in direct conflict with you working on getting your period back. Once you have a period and you've had multiple cycles, there's a few ways to skin a cat. It's up to you. If you are making changes and taking steps to try to optimize your cycle, you are in the process of optimizing your cycle no matter what. Will your attempts definitely work? I don't know. This is just where you need to have some skills, both, your chart and some sort of like emotional, mental, psychological skills to make sure you're not being biased and to make sure you're doing a good job of tracking, looking at the pattern, making a change and adjusting. So it's fine for you to try and optimize your cycle with exercise as long as you're willing to determine if it's working or not and make a change in the other direction. So you can't, like sometimes I think what the question really is, hey, is there a way for me to optimize my cycle with exercise so I never ever have to take it out? The answer to that is, I don't know. I don't promise that for anyone, possibly not. If you want to try to optimize your cycle with exercise, great, and Olivia, she here says she has long follicular phases and short luteal phases. So that's a sign of suboptimal cycle. So if she wants to try and work in exercise, she's gonna have to make changes to that exercise or she's gonna have to eat a lot more food or try to make sure she's not doing that exercise on days where she has poor sleep. She might want to fix the sleep first, then have some exercise come in and see and adjust how that looks. See and adjust according to whether or not her chart is showing that this is working or not. You just have to be willing to look at it after 2-3 months. Hey, I keep trying to optimize my cycle with exercise in, but I notice it's not getting better. I'm gonna probably have to drop something. Before you do, if this resonates with anyone, it's really common for you to think you're making changes, but you're really not, right? Like, there's always an excuse, there's always a good reason, there's always maybe tomorrow. Then you get to the end of this month and you're like, well, I didn't really do a good job this month of eating more to support the exercise, so I'm gonna try again. This month, I'm gonna try to eat more to support the exercise. Well, if that is a pattern for you and you are really struggling to actually eat more to support the exercise, then that path is probably not for you. And you're just gonna need to let it go and be less biased and understand that your habits and behaviors right now are not suited to the method of exercising and eating more to get your cycle back on track. It's definitely possible. There are definitely people who train regularly, who have optimal cycles, who are fertile, who get pregnant. You know, I am someone who trains regularly. I am someone who is fertile. It's not that it's impossible, but just while you're in this healing phase, this optimization phase, it can be a really long time. So just buckle in, sit in there for 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, playing the adjustment game, letting your body sit in that, and then eventually one day you're gonna look up and you're gonna see, wow, I've come a long way, I am training again, my cycle is optimal, and that's all something that's in the past. There's definitely other things that I think are like strongly linked to these issues, but that's a video for another time probably. That's probably just scratching the surface a little, but I hope it was helpful, Olivia. And then in terms of the different time zones, there's not really anything you can do. It is what it is. Enjoy your trip. Your chart is gonna look awful. It's just the nature of traveling, and especially the nature of time zone changes. So that's okay. You just go with it. Travel is so much more taxing on our body than we give it credit for. We often will have people who travel who feel like, well, I didn't have a stressful time. I had a relaxed time. Why does my chart look worse? Why are my temperatures crazy or low? Why is my ovulation delayed? Well, travel is so much more taxing than we give it credit for. So that's what I have for you, Olivia. I hope that it's helpful. And let's see who I've got. Lauren asked just one quick question. She said, are you saying it's possible to heal over 40? Yes, absolutely. It's possible to heal over 40. Let's see. Y'all, you know what's so interesting? I get a lot of listener questions written in from 14 and 16-year-olds, like from teenagers. This is not one of them though. Let's go. This is a question from Ruby C. She says, hey Danny, I haven't had my period for 2 years now. It stopped when I started counting calories to lose weight. This is probably the 3rd time I've experienced this. When I was 16 and anorexic. Okay. I've had all the EDs, all the types, ano, binge, bulim. I'm 5'1", and I was 121 pounds, which is 55 kilos. I lost my period at this time. I started weight training a year ago, and I went down to 100 pounds, only 19.7% body fat. I started to gain some weight back in the hopes of getting my period back at the beginning of the year and wanted to try bulking. I'm currently 104, so 47 kilos and 22% body fat, but no period. I've had my hormones tested, and so far there's nothing wrong. My doctor said there's simply nothing to do about it unless I want to get pregnant in the future. I completely disagree with him. I took meds to get my period back over the last 2 years, but they're not real periods. I've even tried TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, which worked for a while, but I'm not sure if they were real periods since I have zero knowledge on traditional Chinese medicine and how it works. Thinking back, I don't think it's my weight or low body fat percentage that caused my period to stop. It's probably the stress of counting calories. But when I stop tracking, I'll binge or overeat. My ED tendencies still linger. It's all or nothing, and I still throw up from time to time. I also need to track my macros since I'm aiming for that shredded gym girl physique. I don't want to gain a bunch of weight and lose my hard-earned gym gains and still not get a period. I'm conflicted since I also want to bulk. I'm so lost and confused. Should I strength train less? I've already cut down drastically on daily steps and cardio. I really need some advice. Wow, Ruby, this is actually really a really intense question. There's a lot here. And this one kind of breaks my heart a little bit for you. Sorry it's taken me so long to respond to this. You sent this in May, it's now June or July. But you're absolutely right that like your doctor is wrong. And that's just a thing. But here's the big problem. Summed up is the big problem. I'm gonna read your own words to you. I don't think it's my weight or my low body fat percentage that caused my period to stop. Okay, pause. That is you saying, I'm the unicorn. I know that's the problem for everyone else, even though I have a history of ED, even though I consistently control my body through counting macros, bulking, shredding, even though I have goals of being a shredded girl. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. I'm special. Girl, I love you. And with love, I tell you that that is delusional. I also want/need to track my macros since I'm aiming for that shredded gym girl physique. Your goals are completely out of alignment with your actions. If your goal is period health, if your goal is getting your period back, aiming for shredded gym girl physique is a direct conflict to your goal. End of story. Nothing to argue with there. End of story. You are taking actions that have absolutely nothing to do with recovery, spinning your wheels, doing like, okay, well, I'm cutting down on my daily steps. So you've cut down, you haven't cut it out. You've cut down on your cardio, but you haven't cut it out. Right? So you're making the bare minimum changes and hoping that your body just goes, my gosh, thank you so much. This extra 25 calories that you're not burning for me is making the difference. No. 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 So you're conflicted because you also want to bulk. You're so lost and confused. Should you strength train less? Yes, you should. You have an ED. You have one, right? Maybe you've made it past the extreme bits, but you said you still throw up time to time. You have an ED. I don't know why I'm even doing this video because I actually know deep in my soul you're gonna hear this and you're not gonna take a single step of action towards it because that is the nature of an ED. So I don't know if this is gonna help Ruby. I guarantee you that even though she sent this in May and I'm replying in July, she's still doing all those things and not actually doing anything for recovery almost whatsoever. I hope that anyone listening just takes a moment, honestly, to just look at, are my actions in line with my goals? I'm saying I wanna get pregnant, but I'm in the gym trying to get shredded and avoid weight gain. I'm saying I want to get my period back, but I'm counting my macros and trying to make sure I avoid any kind of weight gain. That is unicorn thinking, right? Unicorn thinking is, that's the science, the evidence, the proof, that the anecdotal, that everything that points to this is how you solve this issue does not apply to me because I should have to get to be a shredded gym girl. I am not worthy if I gain weight. I am only valuable if I am thin. This is what I want, and I should get to have it. Well, okay, that is true. You get to have what you want, 100%. But you don't get to have two things at the same time that are in direct conflict. You don't get to have optimal health and do things that are objectively bad for you. bit of tough love for anyone out there who's struggling. I say it with compassion. I do say it with love because I do care a lot. See this all the time. And I want you to stop wasting your life and wasting your time and spinning your wheels on something that's not going to work, that's only going to make you more sick and is not bringing you an iota of joy. With that, please subscribe. If you have a question you want to do for the show, please post it in the comments below. I eventually reply to almost all of the questions. And I hope you guys have a really great weekend. Thanks so much for tuning in.